Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this special Saga gathering. Good evening, everyone. As we come together in October to honor the Cancer Awareness Month, we recognize the resilience, strength, and unity of women facing one of life's most challenging battles. This month reminds us of the importance of awareness, early detection, and support in the fight against cancer. Tonight, we are also celebrating the She Saga, or TSS as we lovingly call it. TSS is more than just a magazine, it's a platform that reaches beyond words, finding hidden stories from every part of a woman's life. TSS is a safe space for many women like me to find laughter, to share tears, and to connect deeply with other women. Thank you for joining us today and for being part of this community of support, empowerment, and resilience. Now, a special note to all the male viewers watching today, this show is also for you. It is an opportunity for you to learn how you can show love and support for the women in your life. We'll be sharing valuable insights and information that can help you stand by them in meaningful ways. So please do stay till the end. Now, coming to the speaker for the evening, today we are honored to speak with Ms. Anindita Chaudhary, a distinguished special correspondent from for the Statesman. She is known for her insightful reporting. She skillfully weaves themes of power and perfection to her narrative. Beyond her journalism, she is also an accomplished writer of short stories and essays with a keen focus on the social and cultural history that shapes our world. She's one of the most wonderful writers that we have on TSS. But above all, today I'm proud to introduce her as a true warrior and fighter. Please join us in welcoming Miss Anindita Chaudhary. Anindita, on to you.
Thank you, Deepa. Thank you so much for a wonderful introduction, and I'm really grateful to all of you for for this talk show, for agreeing to listen to whatever I have to say, because every October I try to make my voice heard uh, all around the year, but October is obviously special for breast cancer awareness. So thank you very much.
It's the pleasure is all ours, Anindita. So let's start by why don't you introduce yourself? We want to hear about, how was your life before the diagnosis? Um, Tell us about yourself.
Uh, I'm usually on the other side as a journalist, so I'll try to give a very short introduction about myself. As you know, I'm a journalist with the Statesman. I'm a special correspondent, and I was in Hyderabad. I was posted in Hyderabad in 2013, and I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2017. And at that time, I was 42 years old, and I had a child, a girl who was in grade 7, and we were a nuclear family, just me, my husband, and my daughter. So it was really a very difficult journey, because cancer is not something which is just a kind of a week or month. It's almost, the treatment takes quite a bit of your time. uh, I can say almost 1.5 years of my life was gone. uh, and I tend to tell people this, that just like before Christ, my life is also like two parts. It's two neat parts, actually. It's before cancer and after cancer. So I was leading a very busy life, uh, you know ju- just as a working journalist. I was, and at the same time, I was a mother, wife. So I was also, I had my household responsibilities and everything. I was really, uh, uh, it was busy life. We had relatives coming in almost, in particularly in 2017, every month we had somebody coming in from other parts, particularly from Kolkata, staying here. And that whole entire year, it was very, very busy. And uh, I remember it was November when I was finally diagnosed, and I had my surgery in December, and that's how it went.
Okay. Thank you, Anindita. So, what was your initial reaction or your emotions when you heard the news?
Actually, it was doubly traumatic for me because my mother had died when I was 19. She was just 52 at that. She died of cancer. She had ovarian cancer. She suffered for a year, and in fact, when I realized that there was a lump and I had a pain in my armpit, so then that was when I realized. I always had that feeling at the back of my mind that both my mother and my maternal aunt had cancer. My mother had ovarian cancer. My maternal aunt had breast cancer. So I was one of those uh, who is very susceptible to the disease. So I knew somewhere that this is it. And I remember first day we went to the gynae. She wanted me to get scanned, and even during the scan, that technician was telling me, "Don't worry, I don't think it is something, you know, like breast cancer. Don't worry." But then suddenly she realized that it was the mass was the lump was irregular shape, which is an indication. And then she just shut down. She did not say anything, and I knew at that point that it is going to be breast cancer. And that day I had gone to the doctor alone because my husband had taken leave previous day. We went to the doctor first time, and since the scan could not be done on that day, we had to go again the next day, and the next day he could not come, so I was all alone in the doctor's chamber. And I just thought, I had one thing in my mind, that see, history repeats itself. It just came to my mind like a loop, that see, history repeats itself. I am at the same juncture as my mother. She was, but it has come 10 years earlier for me. I was still in my early 40s, and she died when she was in her 50s. And I am going to leave behind my daughter, who was in, she was too young to be left behind. So that was, I think, was also the turning point for me, because somewhere I decided, in the in the course of the next few days, that this is not going to be my legacy. My legacy is going to be something else. I will try to come out of it. I'll try to fight it out. I'm not going to take it down meekly.
Yes, I can relate to that feeling of the biggest fear you had when you heard the news about leaving the legacy, and your daughter is still young. I can understand that feeling very well. So you had a motivation to fight the disease, cancer. So my next question was actually, what was your biggest fear when you heard the news? So I think you have already answered that question. So let me ask. You mentioned that you had pain in your armpits and you did feel the lump. So how long did it take for you to get diagnosed after you started noticing the symptoms, and what was the process like? I mean, how did you decide that you have to go to the doctor and check it out? What made you?
Actually, if I didn't have it for, I think I noticed the lump and almost immediately I had the pain. For others, it takes a bit of time because they notice the lump before the pain comes. But in my case, because I had a dense breast kind of thing, so the and the tumor was deep inside, its manifestation came late in that way. The interesting thing is that, these days schools also have started all these awareness campaigns and everything. And my daughter school had brought a gynecologist who had taught them about all these things. And she was the one who told me, Mama, I don't think this is good. You should get, because you are having that pain in the armpit. I remember the doctor telling me that's not a good symptom. I think you should get it checked out. So I was ready to get it checked out, but she also came to me. So that is one of the, good things about kids being more aware these days.
Exactly, exactly. I remember in one of our casual chats that we had a few days back, you mentioned that our generation is more conditioned to be very traditional, and we still have subjects that are considered taboo. We feel embarrassed talking about subjects. One of the most important ones is women's health, especially related to breasts, right? So
Absolutely.
I'm happy that at least the younger generation is more aware of that, and they are not ashamed to talk about it openly. So my next question to you is, how do you start conversation on such a topic when you have to create awareness in your family, when you have to talk to the women in your family, your mothers, daughters, or aunts, when you want to create awareness for them, how do you start a conversation?
Nowadays things have become a little bit better. At least people talk about breast and everything. When I was growing up, I was taught, you are not supposed to speak about these things in public. You are not supposed to talk about your periods. Are not to, if your skirt gets stained in class, when you are in school, you are supposed to, hide it, because you're if you particularly if you are in a co-ed school, because boys are not supposed to be you can't talk to boys about these things. They shouldn't know. So I think somewhere this talk should not start with breast. Actually, it should start much much earlier, with everything, with periods, with all these things, because I come across a lot of cases where, uh, the other day I read about a doctor who is a breast cancer surgeon, and unfortunately his mother could never talk to him about the lump in her own breast. And when she was diagnosed, it was already stage 4, and she could not be saved. So it's a life and death question now. Women have to be, taught about to talk about these things. These are no longer taboos. You have When you are talking to a child about good and bad touch, maybe at a later stage you should start about these things too. And particularly your teenage daughter, and your teenage daughter. And we are in a generation where we are somewhere in the middle, because our mothers, aunts don't know how to check your breast every month. So these are the things we have to, spread awareness about. I'll just talk a little bit about the self examination of the breast, because early detection is very important in cancer. It can make a difference. If you get caught early, then actually you have a very good prognosis. You have a very good chance of survival, and with minimal damage. The damage is also very less, because After all, you may there are things like lumpectomy, mastectomy, because all these cases, losing an entire breast is not a good thing psychologically. There are psychological sides and other things too. So we from somewhere we have to start this this awareness about self examination, because mammography often does not catch the cancer, because particularly if you have a dense breast, in that case mammography may not be able to catch the cancer. We all know our bodies. We know it's the we know about it, we know what is there. So just every time you have your periods, 7 days after your periods, just check your breast. Put your hand, like three fingers, check it. You stand in front of a mirror, check your breast, and then lie down. Often, if something is happening in the underside of your breast, you don't know. You never notice. I remember one of the survivors telling me that she noticed only she because she was lying down, and suddenly she could feel it. If she was standing, she wouldn't have noticed that lump. So you also have to lie down and check your breast every month, 7 days after your period. And if you have already have hit the menopause, in that case, just pick out one date, any date. It might be 15th, 17th, and on that date every month, do that self examination. It can really make a difference.
Okay, that is a very valuable tip, Anindita. I was about to ask you about women who have reached menopause. Is there like an age limit, or uh, what are women who are above 80 also susceptible to get cancer?
Yes, unfortunately, it is happening to younger women. It is also happening to older women. So, for younger women, I suggest teenage girls should be taught about it, particularly after they turn 18. And for older women also, we have a lot of cases of old age cancers these days coming in. So they also have to be taught about doing this regularly, and men also, because men do get breast cancer.
Yes,
For
that.
men it is a little bit simpler because they don't have so much of glands and everything. So it is relatively easier, but they do need to check themselves out for any lumps around that area, chest area.
Okay, this was again a new information for me that men also could get breast cancer. On this note, I would like to ask you, are there any habits or lifestyle changes that you think can help reduce the risk of cancer?
One of the just not habits, but basically, I'll tell you something about myself. When I was diagnosed uh, with breast cancer, at that point of time, I was really having some problems with my weight, because my weight kept on increasing for almost a year. And I was terribly embarrassed, because it was not that I was eating more or I was not exercising. It was more of, I just kept the weight kept piling on. And now I realized that cancer is actually very sneaky. The cancer had to hide itself, and that weight gain was the way it hid itself. Huh? So that is how it happened with me, because I was so embarrassed by the by my weight gain, that I was embarrassed even to seek help at that point of time. So anytime you are gaining weight is a issue, that obesity is an issue. So a healthy lifestyle helps, I guess. And One of the other things that helped me to fight cancer was that I did not have any comorbidities at that point of time. So was no hypertension, diabetes, and all. So I could go all out to fight against this disease. So a healthy lifestyle really helps. That is all.
Yes, I understand that. What are some preventive steps that women can incorporate into their daily life? One, I think from what you just said, one thing is, keep your weight in check. Make sure that you don't have any other, lifestyle diseases like high blood pressure or diabetes, things like that. Anything else that you think women can do to prevent?
Not really, apart from getting themselves checked out regularly. Even if you don't go for mammograms, go and get yourself checked by a gynecologist. Go for a yearly check when you are doing your annual checkups. Go for it. Those are the things you can do, and just one of the basic things: self-examination, always. And if you have any doubts, just go to the doctor, best person. Don't talk to anybody else, I think I'm getting something, or all those things you don't need to do. Go to any gynecologist, get yourself checked out. Physical examination itself is, you don't have to go through a battery of tests for that unless the doctor feels it necessary. A simple physical examination can tell you that whether what he is, or what can it be.
All right, noted. Let's get back to your treatment journey. How was the process like? Can you tell us about your treatment?
It was tough. It was very tough. It, you know, and in a nuclear family, it's tougher. Uh, but uh, in somewhere there was this motivation to fight back. So there were days I couldn't eat, and it's very difficult to get. Since I was staying in Hyderabad, and actually from West Bengal, so I didn't know anybody who could cook for me. Uh, so those little things matter at that time, because you are not able to eat, and you need your strength. You need to build up your strength. Um, but basically, two things I did. One was, whenever I could eat, I just ate. I actually, whatever was suggested to me, home cooked, obviously, home cooked everything. But I just ate at that 3 4 days of kind of a window I used to get before the next dose of chemotherapy. And just after the chemotherapy, you lose, within a day or two, you lose your all sense of taste. So in that time, you can't eat anything. Everything is very bland. It's very difficult to eat at that point of time. So those 2 3 days, I would not eat much, and then I would eat. That's that's how I managed those days. And but everybody helped. I think the doctor helped very much, because there were days when I thought I can't go on like this. I can't do this anymore. And then my doctor, my medical oncologist, would come, and he would come and pat me on my hand, and he'd say, "Don't worry, everything would be okay, everything would be all right." And that gave me so much of strength that I could go back, and then I could fight it out again. I was back. So there were days which, when it was pretty bad, there were days which were better, I would say.
I can't begin to tell you how much these words are inspiring me. My next question was about, did you ever feel like giving up? And how did you pull through those moments? That was my next question, but you already answered it, and I have no
That's the
words.
problem. That's the problem of question interviewing a journalist, because the journalist knows the questions.
Excellent. So I have no words right now to tell what I'm feeling right now. So, anyways, let's move on to a lighter note. So, we both are wearing pink. So, there is a significance for this. So, I would like you to explain that to our viewers.
First, let me tell you my own views. When I first saw that pink ribbon, I thought it was very frivolous. Why do women get to wear pink? And pink was my least favorite color for a long time, but now I think it's good. Pink, actually, in Western countries, they always consider pink to be a very feminine color. So I think that's why they chose pink, and then the ribbon comes in to show that care. But usually for us, a ribbon shows it's supposed to be very frivolous, and a pink ribbon on the top of it makes it more frivolous. But it is not actually. Nowadays, I know that each cancer comes with a different color, so they have different colors for each kind of cancer.
Okay, again, I was not aware of this either. Okay, thank you for
Yeah.
educating me. Okay, are there any misconceptions about cancer or surviving cancer that you would like to clear up for our viewers?
Misconceptions. Misconceptions. Uh, I don't get more misconceptions. There are quite a few, people tend to think about, when I was diagnosed, people didn't know how to react. I was young. If you consider 42 to be young, so I was young and they didn't know how to react. So a lot of WhatsApp forwards were sent to me. So one of those, I remember saying that drinking coconut oil is going to solve cancer. Then I get to these all kinds of things people were asking me to do and all. Then there were some, I was even cooking at that time, because I had to eat, and I couldn't eat whatever my our cook was cooking at that point. I needed my comfort food at that level. So when I was trying to cook a little bit for me and my family. And then everybody would tell me that you are taking, and now you are going through chemotherapy, you should not go near the gas oven and all this. All these are myths. These are not true. Actually, these days, doctors tell you that you continue to work. I worked all through my treatment, because that also helps you, because you feel uh, you, you don't think about your disease when you are busy. Otherwise, you have so much of you know some kind of thoughts, negative thoughts come to your mind. So it's the best thing would be to keep yourself busy and all. One other thing I must tell you, that a lot of people in our country, because the chemotherapy is surgery, chemotherapy, then radiation, all these things, people feel it's a very painful process. So they also want to go for alternative medicine at the same time. That is something I have heard doctors say, that don't go for it, because you don't want anything to interfere with the medical the treatment you are going through. And because of this complex chemical things, you don't really want two kinds of medicines at the same time. So if you are going through chemotherapy, stick to it. It is much much better.
Yes, I agree on that point. If you're going with one treatment, this happens when you listen to I think a lot of opinions of everyone. So, people have all these suggestions on what you can do, and also rather than mixing it up, you just listen to your doctor. They know what is best for you. So, I think that is
That's
the
true.
best way to do that. You were mentioning like the general feeling about chemotherapy is that it's a very painful process. So I would like to know how did the treatment affect your physical health and your day-to-day life?
Actually, chemotherapy is a painful process, though we have modern medicines these days. The basic medicine for chemotherapy may have remained the same, but there are better options to manage the side effects. I can tell you one thing. My mother, when she was going through chemotherapy, she vomited everything, everything. She was not able to keep her food at all. But I can tell you, I went through it and I never vomited, not a single day. But of course, I had other side effects. Uh, when doctors are trying to manage the side effects of chemotherapy, there are other those medicines also have their side effects. So it's that way, it's difficult. But there are things you can do, like I said about food. One of the important things about uh, mm, cancer is you have to eat, you have to keep your strength up, and you have to get your hemoglobin levels up for the next dose. So a good diet is very important. But at the same time, we have this idea that if you the diet for a patient is should be bland. We usually go for boiled things, with very little masala and everything. But our palate is not like that, and when somebody is getting it's for them, their taste buds and mm, the food they're eating sounds tasteless to them. In that case, they need food which is a little bit spicy, not for the chilies, but all the masalas they have to eat. Otherwise they cannot eat that food. It becomes very, very bland. So for if you are ever cooking for a cancer patient, give them home cooked food, but with the usual spices. So and go for food which is, there are days when you don't have the strength even to you know uh, get up from the bed, and you are not able to eat at all. If you can't eat anything, I remember my doctor saying, have a piece of chocolate or a slice of cake. That will give you sugar. That sugar will help you, that glucose will help you, to get some energy for the time being. So those are the things we had to go through, and you figured it out actually. After first or second dose, you figure it out, what needs to be done, what needs to be avoided. So those things you just do.
Okay, that is indeed very helpful advice, especially for, if we want to help someone who is going through this journey, who's going through cancer and treatment. If, as a friend, if I need to help them, I think you've already mentioned a little bit about how we can support them. One thing is by cooking them their favorite food. Are there any diet restrictions? Unless specified by the doctor, we can give them the food that they like, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Whatever they like, they want, their comfort food, go for it.
Okay. All right. Let me get back to one of the things that you had mentioned earlier in the conversation. Like you used to get WhatsApp forwards and messages from friends. So, what I think is sometimes friends are overwhelmed by the news. They don't know how to react, they don't know how they can help. things like that. That's why they end up sometimes sharing things that are not relevant, that may not be relevant for you, or may not even be comfortable sometimes, the things that you share. So what advice would you have for me if I want to help one of my friends who is going through cancer?
See, most of us don't know how to react when you hear that somebody has cancer, because what do you say? What do you do? Uh, so people tend to sort of, keep quiet. They don't call up. They don't meet. So because they feel that that person, I should not disturb that person. That is true, but if you are close enough, a cancer patient, because the treatment is a prolonged treatment. It's almost a year or something like that. So for them, there is you can help the family. The whole entire family goes through a lot of problems, because uh, one of the things you can do is to accompany her to the doctor, or for her chemotherapy, for her, uh, whenever she is getting her next dose of chemotherapy, accompany her. Because I remember, as being a nuclear family, my husband was balancing work and hospital visits. Then my daughter was still underage, so somebody had to be there for her. So if you want to help a friend, just sort of go, accompany her, or help her out by maybe sitting with, keeping her child at your place. These small things are very important, because there's a lot to do during this period. Then one of the major things is food, I said, because at that point of time you can't eat out, and so you can cook her a meal, um, help her with all these things, and then, if nothing else, give her a hug. A hug helps. It helps a lot. And if you can, if you are far away, if you can't do anything, call her up. You note down her, when her hospital visits are, and after a while give her a call and ask her how is she. It means a lot. It means a lot. You are, you see, everything happening, and you are tired at home, you can't go out. Yeah, your life has become, hospitals have become your life. You are going to hospitals, coming back, all these things. So if somebody even talks to you, if somebody gives you a hug, that means a lot on those days.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Those are very, very practical tips on how you can, show your support for a friend. Thank you so much for those tips, Anindita. Like you said, sometimes we don't know how to react or we don't know what to say. We don't want to come across as insensitive because what we say may not be what they want to hear. That is the reason I think why some people just stay silent or they don't want to, because they don't know what to say. It's better to remain silent than to hurt them in any way. That's why. So your tips are very helpful. Thank you for that. My next question would be, um, how has surviving cancer changed your outlook on life, your approach to relationships, to work, family, everything in general?
It's a huge shift in every way. Um, I would say it changed my perspective about life. Uh, Now I don't get into, you know, petty things. I know what is petty, what needs to be prioritized, what can you can leave out. Uh, you don't want to get into anything toxic, any toxicity. You just come out of it. So those are the things. And actually, I used to be a very shy person who never used to talk about myself or anything of this sort. Diseases or a strict no. You are somebody who should have a high threshold of able to bear pain. So that was the kind of a person I was. But cancer changed it, because when you get a second chance, you want to do something different. You want to be a better person, first of all. And then you know your priorities now. And the most important thing about when it comes to after cancer is that I just want to have make memories with people. You just want to make good memories with people. And that's what I did after coming out of it. I'll just share a small thing a bit about you, about myself, that I was very scared of pity. you know when it was the time to rejoin the world, you have to go back to social activities. I was finding it very difficult, because I knew the moment I would start meeting people, then what will happen is people will start asking me, how am I feeling, and all those things. So there was this get together after Dasera. The Bengali community usually has a meet kind of Vijaya Dashami. After Vijaya Dashami, they Vijaya meet, it is called, where people meet everybody, they greet everybody. So we have an alumni association over here. So we were supposed to go to that meeting, to that get together after Durga Puja. And that would have been my first appearance after a year and a half, I guess. So I was naturally very apprehensive. Then somebody had called up my daughter for a small dance performance. She was asked to participate. There would be some performances, and she was asked to participate. So while she was practicing her dance, and I just decided in like that I'm going to join her. And and that was the thing I did. We danced together, and we rehearsed, we danced. And after that, people did not ask me when after our performance, nobody asked me how am I how you are feeling, are you better, all these things. If somebody can dance after having cancer, I think that question was immaterial to them.
Yes, yes. This is actually, I think, the perfect metaphor for you. You have fought cancer, survived it like Mahishasura, and you have come out of it like Durga Devi. I think we cannot get a more perfect metaphor for you. And on Vijayadashmi, you did your victory dance, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, that's the perfect metaphor for your journey. I'm so glad I could hear this story from you, Anindita. So let's continue with the questions. So, what are your hopes and plans for the future, both in terms of your health as well as your personal goals?
One of the key things that we are told by the doctors is to go for your checkups very regularly. So, even during COVID, I tried to be very regular with my checkups. Those are very important. So, every 4 or 5 months, I go to the doctor, get myself physically examined, uh, because cancer can always come back. So that is always there at the back of your mind. And I don't plan for the future. I always live in the present. there's no point in thinking about what the future holds for me. I absolutely live in the present. Absolutely. I think about what is going to happen next. That's it. And my whole the only thing that makes me talk about this disease, about my journey, is that I might be able to make a difference to even one person who will listen to what I have to say, and they will take good care of themselves. Because women, I tend to see that they are so lost in balancing work, life, life's challenges. It's really difficult for a girl to for a woman who are always conditioned to think about others, not about themselves, to take good care of their own bodies. And of course, mental part is also important, but also this is something that they have to take care of. So, as I said, I don't have any future plans, but I want to be around.
I This will be my biggest takeaway, that live in the moment. Don't plan for your
Absolutely.
future. Live in the moment. Enjoy the moment that you are in right now. This will be my biggest takeaway for today. I'm sure all of the viewers who are joining us are also inspired by your words today. Let me also ask you, uh, what do you think about the current research that is going on for cancer? Do you feel the need for more research and awareness in this field? What would be the kind of messages that you would want to share in that aspect?
See, Deepa, there are certain things I don't understand in this world. Like, how can the cancer medicines be so expensive? Cancer is such an expensive treatment. You don't know. In fact, I just want to tell women that you take good care of yourselves. You get self-examined, then you can actually, save tons of money. The money which you can be spent on your child's education, or or for to have a house and anything else. But I was given a medicine called Herceptin. I had to take 18 doses, and since I was on the heavier side, I needed almost more than one vial, and each of those vials costed at that time rupees 75,000. Just imagine, it is so expensive. So what having those research helps, of course. So one day I know we will be able to defeat cancer, but what what does it mean if half of the women cannot actually afford this kind of an expensive drug? Even if we come up with a medicine, if we come up with a test which can diagnose cancer very early, if we can't give it to them at cheap rates, there's no point. There's no point. You don't know how difficult it is for women of who are not economically well off, for them to get even access to cancer medicine.
Okay, that is a very relevant point that you have made, Anindita. I hope the people who are working in the pharma industry or the relevant authorities take note of this, and let's hope in the coming future the medicine gets more affordable for everyone. Now I'm looking at the comments. We haven't got any questions from the viewers yet. So I'd like to wrap up with one more question for you. For a person who is going through treatment, what are the coping mechanisms that you think would be most helpful for them?
It all depends on if you but basically, you just have that will to live. You have to. That is most important thing because cancer is something which is you don't die the next day. You get time, little time. So you know what your prognosis is. So you can think about what to do, what are the things you need to do, those things. But most of it, I feel that cancer is like a very an enemy which is very sneaky, but who a psychological advantage can be really helpful if you are strong enough. If you have that will to live, it can make a lot of difference. So, and of there are chances that even if you have that will to live but things are not looking so good, in that case you make the best of it. Like nowadays I feel that my mother had only a year, uh, she lived only for a year after being diagnosed. I wish we had taken her to some holiday. We never even thought about it. We could have had such good memories with her. So keep making memories, that's the most important thing. We are not going to be around for long, but that doesn't matter if you have good memories.
Yes, that really strikes a chord. Yes. Uh, okay. So, next, what I would like to know is how can public figures or celebrities, the media, and platforms like She Saga, of course, how can we play a role in raising cancer awareness and educating the public about this? So, you are a journalist and a storyteller also. So, how can storytelling be used, to break the taboo and build more understanding about these kind of issues?
See, we can write story telling and everything, but I have a feeling that the celebrities really help. Women like Gautami, what she went through, those things are important. But I also have noticed something that people don't want to hear. Some point they think that cancer is too macabre. It's so negative. It's so I mean somewhere even if you want to give that message, it does not reach people. I mean, but celebrities do help. And I think a lot of psychological sites, that it's not the end of the thing. Those things are, if a woman loses her breast, it's not the end of the world. These are the things which can change, which actually can change when you have people like Sonali Bendre having the disease, and you see that nothing has changed. And maybe that also plays at the back of my mind, that I also like to be, these days, well dressed, well look, so that I look good. It does wonders to your mentally. It really helps. So I think women also should be given those things, because unfortunately doctors treat the patient, but they don't treat a lot of women are they don't want to come out because they don't know whom to approach about prosthetics and all those things. So these are the things that needs to be talked about. These are the things which needs to be made accessible to everybody. People from middle class backgrounds, women who are absolutely homemakers, uh, even they need help. They really need help, and these are the things which can be made accessible to people. Knowledge, awareness, it helps a lot.
Very true. Very true. What? So related to that, when you think about the future, what is the kind of legacy that you want to leave behind? What is the kind of message or story that you want to leave behind?
Somebody who looked at cancer, right? Uh, as a journey, it was. I don't want to come across as a person who was scared to meet it in the eye. I want to look straight and fight it out. That kind of a person. Somewhere you know, not to be cowed down. Nothing is going to keep me down. Somewhere unputdownable, even if it's a disease.
Unputdownable. That is one word that I'm going to add to my dictionary. But I like the fact that you're being so candid and frank in sharing your experiences as well as your expectations. We know each other through the Shisaga writings and through the platform. We know each other for quite a while, but I should say that my respect for you has gone up several notches today. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
giving us a lot of insights. One of the things that struck me a lot when you were mentioning that is that us women, we are traditionally conditioned to put ourselves last. We are always thinking about the what to do for others, how to keep everyone else happy, how to do all our responsibilities, juggle everything in our life, and put us the last. If we have a, even if it is a small fever or anything, we'll always think, okay, it will go down by itself in 2 days. We never put ourselves first. So one of the takeaways that I'm taking today is that self prioritization, self love is something that we women need to do, and something that we need to teach our daughters as well, the coming
Yes,
generation.
very important. Very important. Teaching our daughters and mothers too.
Too. Yes, my mother is 80 and my daughter is 20, so today I will be educating both of them on this topic
Absolutely.
as well. Thank you so much,
Absolutely.
Anindita.
Thank you
Anyways,
so
I
much.
have to again reiterate this. You are a true fighter. Like you said, you are not someone who can be, put down easily. You are, Ma Durga incarnate, if I could say that, for fighting cancer so bravely and surviving. Thank you so much, Anindita, for sharing all your experiences and all this information with us. Your words have not only inspired me and everyone else who is watching the show, it has also reminded us of a lot of things, not only about awareness or resilience and how we can support each other, but also about self prioritization and, how to take care of ourselves and put ourselves first. Sometimes that is very much needed for us women. So, a special thank you to
Thank
you.
Thank you for inviting me, for giving me the chance to talk to you over this my journey. But if I can make a difference for even one woman, I would think that I have done my job well. Thank you.
I'm
Thank
sure.
you,
I'm
Vinit.
sure you have inspired not only one. You have inspired countless women today. I'm sure this show will be. It is also shared on our Facebook page of Sri Saga as well as the YouTube channel, and we will be again promoting this. Video again so that our motto is also to reach more number of people so that more women are aware of this, and also more men should be aware of these things so that they can support the women in their lives as well. So I'm sure your words and your insights have been very much inspiring and useful for everyone watching this show. A note of thank you to all the viewers who have stayed with us today. And I'm sure if you have any questions, please do send to us on our Facebook page or on our YouTube channel. We will try to get back to you with the answers. So thank you, everyone. And thank you once again, Anindita. Thank you to the
Thank
She
you.
Saga team for giving both of us this opportunity to interact with each other and to the rest of you. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you, Anita.
Bye.